He's here. Building inspector's here.
What's up, everybody? So today's video, I want to take you back a little bit, back to when I started this project. I started walling in my carport this winter, and I'm kind of rounding out the end of it. And I want to talk to you why I did it, why you might want to do it, and how you can add a lot of value to your house just by doing this. I still got to finish this part, but we're almost done with it. I wanted to do this vlog. It's probably gonna be a two-part series of, getting it all together, because the finishing touches are a little harder to get done than the rest of it. And yes, I pulled a permit for it, and I'll talk about that too. Because here we are right now. I'm gonna take you back. The permit process was an interesting one too, and it wasn't as hard as I thought it was gonna be, but it's just kind of one more thing. Good morning, everybody. So I'm about to wall in my carport right here. This is our 1944 house, and I figured I would vlog this entire process, so if you're trying to do this yourself, you'll know basically how to go about doing it. And yes, I pulled the permit for this, and I figured that I would, do it the right way and see how hard actually the process is. And you'll know where I messed up and what I would do differently as a homeowner, because no, I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy that does real estate renovation projects on my own. So if you're watching this, I passed, and the building inspector passed my entire build out here. I've got all my lumber here, and so there'll be a wall right here. And then on this front side here, there'll be a set of French doors and walls and sheathing and the siding and the whole 9 yards. I'm going to insulate it. I'm probably going to put an air conditioning unit in here, because the wall to my house here is brick, and I can't get ducking through the extra space here. So I'm going to tell you my thoughts, and I'm going to show you our entire process. Samantha's going to help me do this, and it's going to be an interesting process. A permit usually lasts for about 6 months, so I've got plenty of time, but I think I can do this part here in a couple days. So the first inspection is the framing, and then the second inspection is after I get the sheetrock up and everything is done. I've already got a light here. That was there from, ever, and there's an outlet there, but I probably will need to add outlets. I might have to go get another permit. I don't know. I'll talk to the building inspector. So you'll know what the building inspector said versus what I did, and then we'll just fix it until he passes us. So walls will be here. I got my lumber here. Basically, I'm doing yellow pine. I need treated and untreated, so my treated seal plate will go along here, and then I'll run 16 on center for my wall all the way around, anchor it to the pillars and to the wall. And Samantha's got little Jack. He's here to learn on his first construction project. Okay, so I got my saws all ready, and we're gonna do this. So it's kind of hard to set up the big camera for this because I'm kind of running and gunning. So you see my rafters up here, they're old, and this is the decking for the rolled roof. Sorry for the weird angles, but I had to fix some wood rot here and just kind of top plate this, because my on centers will be right here. And funny story, I actually wrote this design out on a piece of notebook paper, and the building inspector, he passed it. He put his stamp of approval on it. So as a homeowner, you can get away with a lot of stuff they probably wouldn't let a contractor do. But I had to fix a couple of these, and like this one, I had to basically sister another piece up there because, water damage over the 90 years of this house or whatever is rotted this one. But you can sister another stronger piece to it. I'll probably sister another one up to it too, just to make sure it's all good to go. And fix some of the rafter tails, just adding another piece right next to it, because you can always add to wood, can't take away. That's usually what the building inspector will tell you. Also, this video is for my building codes and things here in my area of Florida, not where you're probably watching this at. So the building code is probably different where you're at than where I'm at. So let me tell you some of the problems I've got to face here. All right, so this is the whole carport, right? And here in Pensacola, we have a lot of hurricanes. So during a hurricane, the hurricane winds come from this direction. The water is right here. See that tree line right there? That is the water. Water blows in here at about 130 miles an hour. And it hits this wall. Okay, so during Hurricane Sally, this section right here wanted to lift up and go away. So this wall has to be really strong. So I am going to tie it in the best I can up here. This is not a structural wall, so I don't have to really worry about too many of the building codes, but I'm going to do it right. So this is a project Samantha has been wanting me to do for a long time, and I finally got down the honey-do list to do this. So here's why we wanted to do this. Okay, so this area is going to add about 256 square feet to our house. Navy Point is selling for about $230 a square renovated. So if you do 256 times $230 a square foot, and we're going to try to add a bathroom. I'm not sure where that's going to fall into the timeline, so that will add more value to our house. So the easiest money to make in a house is walling in square footage that already exists. So if you think about this carport here, which we're really not using, it's not even a garage, we need to use this space. We're going to put a den. I'm probably going to make a little filming area here for my YouTube videos, another little backdrop, maybe a little bar here, and then a TV either on this wall or this wall. So if you look at this wall, there's going to be a couch here or a TV here, and vice versa. We're probably going to do some built-ins in between these columns, and these columns are going to be another issue for building onto this house because these columns are not completely level. These columns were built somewhere in the 50s, 40s when this thing was done, and they have a little canter to them, but not a lot. Not really like here, but more like here. And they kind of overbuilt because look at these big pillars to hold this carport up of 2x6s. It's not real heavy comparatively because the top plate is pretty much already there. I just got to build onto the top plate. This is part of building onto old houses. Nothing really fits. So there's no point of building a top plate under a top plate. So I'm just going to like attach to it. Wish me luck. Okay, same goes over here because this actually leads into my backyard and that leads into another problem. So during a hurricane, all the water from the backyard and the alley, it stacks up over there. It comes right down through here and it comes right down through here. And then it goes straight out there. So when I designed this, I didn't do it properly. There's a slope here, but not a lot of it. So during a hurricane, a lot of water comes through right here. So I have to build a minor lip right along the edge of this wall. So the water will make sure it goes out this way, that way, and down the carport. So I'm going to use a piece of metal flashing to go across here, and I'm going to use a lot of silicone. But since the hurricane winds will be coming through here, I got to make sure this wall is really strong, anchored to the ground properly, and tied into those rafters up there. This is a really big space, so my framing is probably going to be pretty weird. I'm going to go 8 feet high because all the wood at Lowe's right now is only 8 feet, and then I'm going to do my studs going up, attaching up here. All right. First partition is up. Got a little moisture barrier. I'm gonna put a little flashing right there. Now we just gotta do this one, and then we'll be done for the day.
You centered it?
Samantha's inspecting.
Yeah, make sure Jack centers the door. It'll look weird if it's like 3 inches off.
That's what shims are for. Little Jack is inspecting. He's just sitting here watching us work. Samantha's over here cutting a trench to make the bricks bigger. Working on the layout, making sure the crown is going the same way, that way. Working on the door spacing. Got to figure out my header. I think I gotta get a 2x8. All right, so I'm waiting on the door. They're trying to get it down. The lumber's in the parking lot. I'm really thinking somebody's gonna steal it. Check this out. All right, so the guys here at Home Depot helped me get this door up here. Check it out. Got 2x4s. Gonna get this bad boy home. Somehow I can't keep an old Army dude down. Transportation Corps through and through. I got it home. Forrest is gonna help me get it off the truck. All right, I got the header up there. You can see that bubble on top, it's level. All right, I got it all up there. Put my straps on, put my header on. I gotta nail it together. Cut the bottom plate, put the door in, anchor it down first, and rock and roll. So I'm about 2 hours worth of work away from my framing inspection. As soon as I get all the top straps in and I put my, other pieces up here, we'll be ready for the inspector. So here's my outside. I put as many hurricane straps as I can on it because this wall gets all the hurricane wind. So big doors here, and then all that nasty wood in there will be sheetrock. So also, nothing on old house is square, so this was tough. And that post was tough, getting the whole frame to sit in there just perfect. So I had to kind of shim it. So we'll see what the building inspector has to say. It fits.
He's here. Building inspector's here.
All right, he just left. So the only thing I needed to change was to add a couple more hurricane straps to this section right here, which I had 3. I kind of went every other on some of the rafter tails. I'm gonna put a couple more. He passed me anyways. He said he would just like to see some more. And if I was gonna run power to... So that was pretty cool. It was pretty simple. He just looked at all. Tap cons were cool. And everything was good to go. Pretty pumped. Here we go. All right, I got the door strategically tacked in place until I go get silicone. Gotta put some of the vapor barrier on it. It's flush though, it fits. Because I'm kind of fighting the weather. I think it might rain here pretty soon. So I need to get this all kind of in place. I got the plywood on over here, ready to go. I'm gonna use some rubber flashing silicone in here, like in between the brick. That's one thing I couldn't figure out, was how I was gonna flash between the brick and this in case the water gets down in here. Whole nother thing, dealing with old houses here. Okay, nothing's square, nothing's flush. You just do what you can. See, I got the treated plywood down here and then the regular here because splash and water coming down this way from back there. Just had to try to make it better than what, the cards I was given. Samantha's back there working on the walkway. All right, so weekend after kind of putting it all together, you can still see the cracks down there, but you need some space in between the plywood for expansion because moisture is going to make this stuff expand and contract, and you don't want it to get all wonky. And, full disclosure, see that 2x4 right there on the end? That's what Lowe's wood does when it dries out. It twists and it goes nasty. But it's really not that big of a deal. Plywood's gonna keep it straight. I might put another one right next to another 2x4 just for the sheetrock hanging, but it's just for giggles there because we're just gonna hang sheetrock on it. So this whole wall's not structural, it just ties in up there. And then I gotta put my sheetrock to this, so that's gonna be another video probably. But I got my door in, that's what it looks like from the outside. And then I just gotta put my caulk and flashing and everything and sheetrock her up. All right, we got the vapor barrier up and we're ready for siding and trim. Get the side up too, ready to go. Vapor barrier, trim out the door. So I haven't finished the vinyl at the top because I haven't finished the bird box up there to where the vinyl can have its final J-strip up there, whatever you call it, so the vinyl can fit together. I gotta finish that. It just got too hot in the afternoons to finish it, but that's simple, it'll be done. And then trim out some of the leftover Tyvek that I had hanging out. And then we're gonna add brick trim at the bottom where you see the flashing. It's just, kind of finishing the final touches is the hardest part. But we're getting there, and we're gonna have it done real soon. And that's what's really been taking up a lot of my time and haven't been posting as much. Okay, so I'm at the part now where the inspectors passed my framing inspection, and I had to go back to get an electrical permit. He said if I added outlets, I had to get a permit. And they were super nice, respectful guys, but this was real frustrating because I already had power there. And since I was adding I think I added 5 outlets, that I had to have a permit. And I got the permit, did all right, and the inspection took like 5 seconds. And then there's another inspection of the electrical inspection. So it's a 2-part. You got your roughing, and then you got your final. And, all they do is just put a tester in the outlets and make sure that it says correct on the tester. It was kind of frustrating. It's another $100. And, the framing inspection, which I can understand that inspection to make sure you do it right, because it was tricky if you don't do it all the time, getting 16 on center, having a bottom plate that's treated, top plate done right, enough hurricane straps, and using the right nails. Our inspector would not take screws. I ran into the problem because the wood is so hard in our old house that nails would bend off, and even screw heads would break off, but screws worked better. But they want to see 16, D or P common nails, full steel nails, galvanized nails. So, that was the hardest part. And then where my air conditioner unit was going to go, I'm going to have to use a mini split. So the mini split's going to have a home outside somewhere. And then how I was going to wire it, I'm going to pass that one here real soon. I'm going to have the AC guy just come and put a mini split ductless system in there because there was no other way around it, and so we've pretty much sheetrocked the whole thing in. We'll actually have the sheetrock done like this week. We procrastinated on this because it got so hot outside when summer hit. So we'll have that done, and probably an air conditioner up within the week. So then we'll do the finishing touches. I got to put the insulation on the ceiling, sheetrock on the ceiling. That'll be done real quick. And we're going to get an actual sheetrock jack to lift to the ceiling. It's like rent it for 4 hours at Home Depot for like $60. Totally worth it. But that is the main reason. That is the main things that I did with this. It's totally doable. The main reason, 256 square feet times $230 a square foot here in Navy Point adds quite a bit of value to my house. I can put another carport on the front if I want it. The way my property is cut, which once I add this, I'm adding $50,000-$60,000 to my house, especially with the market the way it is today. Easiest money to be made in Navy Point. And then later put a bathroom in, make my house a 2-bathroom, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with an extra room den. So that adds a ton of sellable value to my house. I don't plan on selling it, but with Little Jack, we wanted him to have a little playroom out there, or another little getaway den. It just all worked out that it was non-usable space. Now we're using it. And it could be a mud room, whatever we want. So for the cost of this build, I hope to be between $4,000 and $5,000. The AC is going to cost me about $1,000 for the unit install, $1,000, $1,100, and then I'm going to have probably $1,000 in lumber, $1,000-ish in sheetrock and materials. The wire was super expensive. It had gone up a ton recently. I probably have a few $100s in that, and then, the miscellaneous. So probably with the bathroom in it and everything, I would like to be at $5,000 because we're not going elaborate. We're just making it a functional room. Nothing in our house is elaborate, so then it just wouldn't match if it was. We're just having functionality here. So in the next part of this video, I'll finish it out and I'll tell you my final thoughts of final out with the inspector and that whole process. But they've been great so far. If I had to do it over again, I would have pulled one permit, residential permit with everything on it, instead of having to go back add more to it because of the homeowner, they make you go down there instead of doing it online. So, you know, just really the big thoughts. The electrical rough ends was easy. You know, you're just running a box, you know, or you're just running outlet boxes and switches. And then if you know how basic wiring, it's simple. The main things he looked for is if the boxes were loose and the wires were stapled correctly and nothing was just, you know, completely unsafe. And since I already had one of the outlets working, he was like, you're good, because they're all in a line. But he'll come back, final out it. So that's really it for this vlog. I meant to post this vlog a long time ago, and but we're finally to that point that I feel like I can post this one. See you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts. So be kind, guys. I did pass my inspections. See you later.